Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today we have a full house. Move over, Bob Saget. I am joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Gordon, Scott, Liz, and Landon. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. There we go.
Thank you for having us.
Hello.
Oh, you're welcome. Take a seat. Settle down. There we go. So we are so glad that everyone out there on X1 Flex and Twitter can join us today. We have a very, very exciting show for you, including a very special guest appearance by Reza Farahan from the hit Bravo series Shahs of Sunset. So without further ado, let's get this party started, as always, with In the News. Last Thursday, the highly anticipated movie adaptation of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Tony Award-winning musical In the Heights premiered on HBO Max. The film's release was delayed more than a year by the global pandemic, but it's now being called the movie of the summer and boasts a 96% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. For more on this, we'll turn first to our Latino and international editor, Liz. Liz, I know this one is very special for you.
Oh my gosh, I loved every second of this. Where do I even start, right? So if you haven't heard about In the Heights or what it's even about, let me give you a quick synopsis and then talk to you about all the wonderful things that you'll see. So it's a story about a young guy named Usnavi who has dreams of his own. And some dreams that sort of belong to his parents before him. Not only is he the narrator, he's also one of the leads. And I think what's so awesome about this movie is that not only do you have one lead, but you have several leads, and it follows the story of all of these people within a certain neighborhood, Washington Heights in New York City, and remove the city, remove the cultural references, this movie, and I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying for a second, remove it for a second, because at the heart of this movie, it's about community. It's about pride. It's about dreams. And it's just such a feel good. Did I mention it's a musical? Because it is awesome. So let's get started and let's talk about it, because I know you guys all saw this. At least I think you did. So let's talk about some of the musical moments. This movie, I saw a pre-screening at the movie theater, and then I am not embarrassed to admit that I have probably watched it 4 times at home since it has released on Thursday with my daughters and anybody else who shows up at the house. Because the songs, everything about this movie just resonates. It resonates from a Latino perspective, the nuances and the direction in the language, in tin cans being used as pencil holders, and waving flags, and this just overwhelming sense of pride, this orgullo within the community. So saw it many, many times. I'll pause for a second, and I'd love to hear your reactions to the movie.
Well,
Anybody want to go first?
I guess I am. My lower third might say gaming editor, but as a former Professor Harold Hill, a former Nathan Detroit, a former Billy Crocker, I might as well be our musical theater editor in a lot of ways. So this is something we've been excited for such a long time. Lin-Manuel Miranda, obviously famously known for Hamilton. This is the one that came before Hamilton. And boy, you can see the pieces that got him there just with his style is so much fun to watch. It's so refreshing. And I know Rose is not here, but I have a couple fun facts. If you've watched the piece, the gentleman, the Paragua man, that's Lin-Manuel Miranda. And his competitor is a guy who runs the Mr. Softy truck, who was played by Christopher Jackson. They were the 2 original leads of In the Heights on Broadway. Not only that, they also were Alexander Hamilton and George Washington in the original cast of Hamilton. And if you'd like to watch Hamilton, we have that on Disney Plus, Voice Command Hamilton. So that's one fun fact. Another fun fact about this is, so Lin-Manuel Miranda is a huge Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan. He was actually one of the people that helped, once the show was canceled, help bring it back to the air. Some of the cast of In the Heights is actually in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, available on Peacock, voice command Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Lin-Manuel Miranda himself played David Santiago, which is Amy Santiago's overachieving brother. Jimmy Smits, who's amazing in everything, he plays Kevin Rosario in the Heights, plays Victor Santiago, Amy Santiago's father. So technically, Lin-Manuel Miranda is the son of Jimmy Smits in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And Carla, who's one of the women who works at the beauty parlor, is played by Stephanie Beatrice, who is the amazing Rosa Diaz in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So if you're not into musical theater, there's still amazing people in this show. The music's amazing. The cast is so talented, and I was just excited to get to talk about it. So I'll let everybody else have their 2 cents. But Liz, I was excited as you are. Like it was really a ton of fun.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, go ahead, David.
No. I was just going to say, like, Gordon, you stole one of my fun facts about Christopher Jackson, who I clocked immediately as Mr. Softy. But I have another fun fact that I'm so glad perhaps you didn't pick up on, is that when Jimmy Smits is on the phone on hold with Stanford, the hold song is You'll Be Back from Hamilton. And it's funny because it's a nod to Hamilton, but also funny because it's like the school saying, you'll be back, to us. And that all plays into the storyline of the movie. But one thing I will mention is that when I interviewed Lin-Manuel Miranda back a year or two ago for an Xfinity hangout, he told me about how much the Mary Poppins song In the Birds meant to him as a kid. And at the time of our interview, he was filming In the Heights. And he had said to me while he was watching dailies that they had just shot the sequence for Paciencia y Fe, and said, thank you, Liz, and said that he realized this is my Feed the Birds. This is my version of that. And it meant so much to him, not only when he wrote it and put it in the show, but to see that come to life on the screen, it was a really special moment for him. And with that backstory, I connected to that song and that sequence even more.
I love that.
Wow.
I
have to jump
Scott?
in here. Three's company. We've got a Mr. Softy comment 2 times. I'm going to go 3 here, but I'm going to spin this conversation a little bit because it was exciting to get back into the movie theaters. And as Mr. Softy comes up repeatedly, do you guys have a go-to movie theater snack? And 2, I was watching TikTok the other day because, as we youngs do, we watch our TikTok, and I saw a girl go into a movie theater. Now this blew my mind. She went into the movie theater. She got a big thing of popcorn. And what's the worst thing about getting butter on your popcorn? You only get butter on the top layer.
Nothing.
She plugged straws into the popcorn thing and shot the butter to the bottom. Did a little jiggle. And the whole thing was buttered. And I
saw that.
I had my world rocked, Liz. I really did.
I
Innovator.
love that. I did see that too. So my snack, what was my snack? Twizzlers. I always get Twizzlers at the movie theater. I feel like they're not messy. It's easy to eat. I don't know.
Do you use them as
boring,
a straw?
but
Do you use them as a straw?
I don't, but I might.
That's how you make
now
Coke cherry Coke, though. Like if you get a
Good to
regular
know.
Coke and
Good to
You
know.
also just get cherry Coke. It's a thing that they make for you already.
They will.
Sorry. I forgot going to the movie theater wasn't supposed to be fun. Sorry.
My wife is a Sour Patch Kid fan, but she only likes red and orange Sour Patch Kids. So when we're at the movie, she'll be sitting there holding up the thing to the screen to see if it's worthy of being eaten or not. And at the end, there's a whole bag of yellow and green Sour Patch Orphans that didn't make the cut. Very sad.
Wow.
So do you eat those?
No.
Do you eat the yellow and greens? Yeah.
No.
I don't blame
they're
you.
unloved.
I don't blame you.
Unfortunately.
I'm not-
We need to
Audrey
teach our
with the
child
Starburst.
to like the yellow and green.
We should be eating all of the candies. All the colors of candy are delicious.
Yeah, I agree.
Find somebody
And
who likes the opposite candy and go with them.
Exactly.
You're right.
That's a great idea.
Night together, however.
I just want to see the whole world through her eyes. They're talking about kicking out all the dreamers. It's time to make some noise.
Our dignity in small ways. Little details that tell the world we are not invisible.
This is the moment when you do better than me. Because you can see a future that I can't.
But we go, we rap for people. made all of this?
This is me.
And it felt not true to them, especially in Washington Heights in New York City. What I'd like to say to that is I think that there's room for both the celebration of this film and the space, as Lin-Manuel mentioned in his post in rebuttal to all of this, is that although I think that there's room for this incredible pride around this movie, but also to be aware and cognizant of the opportunities that exist. And so what I'm most excited about is that this is reigniting conversations within the Latino community around representation, because as we know, representation is so important, especially on the big screen. And so these conversations are being had, and this is the first. And that is what I'm excited about, is that this has laid the foundation for what's going to come after this. So truly, truly excited to see what the future holds for Latino representation in Hollywood. So super excited. No, we didn't hear from Scott at all, and didn't want to put you on the spot, but wanted to give you the opportunity
absolutely.
to chime in.
One of the things that I was really impressed with was the pool scene. Just logistically looking at how amazing the shot was and how beautiful it was. So much so that I felt the need to kind of follow up and read about how that was done. There's a really interesting article that was talking about how originally they were going to film that in the main area in front of the store, which is kind of like where the majority of the film had already taken place. But they decided, I think when they were scouting locations, they saw this pool and they decided this is absolutely where we need to have it. So they went ahead and like filled the pool up, like brought all of the dancers and everything in. But part of the problem is that they only had, I think, 3 days to do the entire scene before the pool opened up to the public. So it was raining all 3 of those days. So all of the screens are like, it was freezing cold. They had to worry about water droplets on the pool, all of that, like the floats kept moving. And on top of that, the crane that they would normally do for that aerial shot I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, off the top of my head, where she's on the float and she's kind of singing about what she would do if she won the money. The crane was too heavy. It would actually, because of the water pumps that were underneath the cement, it would have actually crushed below that. So they had to work out the logistics of all of that. So it was just really, really interesting to read about it and what they went through just to get that amazing scene. And it's just a testament to how great it ended up coming out when you have that vision and the drive to make it happen.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
I love that.
And it's directed by John M. Chu, who knows how to film dance scenes and big action sequences like that, because he's done a couple of Step Up movies and I believe one of the G.I. Joe movies as well. So he knows his stuff. But thank you, Liz, for the full rundown of In the Heights. I know that we all loved it too. And if anyone wants to check it out, say In the Heights into your remote and see it for yourself. So let us move on now to editors' picks. Today is the final day of the Electronic Entertainment Expo, more commonly known as E3. The annual event is the largest gaming show of the year, and I'm going to kick it over to our very own Master Chief, our gaming editor, Gordon, to tell us more about what this event is and why it's so important. Gordon?
That's gaming editor / musical theater editor. Thank you very much. All right, so E3 is upon us. We're in the final days. And if you're unfamiliar with this event, it's where the gaming industry comes together to announce new games. They show new gameplay. It's basically gamer heaven. So usually I'd be sweating to death in the packed Los Angeles Convention Center, checking out all the latest games, surrounded by millions of gamers. But due to COVID, all that business has been moved online. Now, that's not a bad thing, because now we can bring it to you on X1 and Flex, and it's all available using the voice command, Summer Gaming Central, hence the shirt and now the sunglasses, Summer Gaming Central. So here you're going to find all the big news, trailers, gameplay, interviews, and more from all the summer's big gaming shows, not just E3. So be sure to keep checking back all summer for more gaming news. So there have been all kinds of big reveals like the new outer space epic Starfield. There's going to be a new Guardians of the Galaxy game. There's a vampire slaughterfest called Redfall. And just today, a new 2D Metroid title was announced. It's called Metroid Dread. It's been a long time since we've got to see Samus, so excited for that. We also had some long-awaited updates on games like George R.R. Martin is working on a game called Elden Ring. The upcoming Halo Infinite, we got more on that. And finally, to Infinity, we got more information on the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild just a couple hours ago. And I tell you, that Nintendo presentation was a roller coaster of emotions for me. Like I said, they announced they were going to do a Zelda sequel a couple years ago, and then we haven't heard anything about it. So they started off the presentation with one of the Zelda characters being carried around. And you're like, oh, goodness, we're finally going to get it. And it was for something else. It was for Smash Brothers. I was so upset. Very angry, not pleased. So I'm annoyed, and I'm watching the rest of the stuff, and it's all very interesting. And they mentioned Metroid, and that made me happy. And then they mentioned for the Zelda anniversary, they're releasing a Game & Watch. And what that is Game & Watch is kind of a very small gaming system that was kind of big in the late 80s in the United States. It existed in Japan earlier than that, where you could play like a single game. And that actually kind of hit me in the feels because my dad used to travel internationally all the time. He traveled to Saudi Arabia, to Indonesia, to Japan. And whenever he'd be in Japan, he'd pick one of these up for me. So I kind of had these in the States before anybody else did. So I hadn't seen it or thought of it in decades. So to see that, my father passed a couple months ago. So to see that was, so we went from angry to excited to, kind of feeling all the feels. It was kind of a really cool moment that Game & Watch is coming back. And then they topped it off finally by giving us another look at The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. They didn't even give us a title. They just showed us gameplay. It looks like we're heading up into the clouds for this one. Couldn't be more excited. And then at the end, they finished it off with a number, which was 2022. So it's going to be a while, at least a year and a half. But super excited. Again, and that was the Nintendo presentation that was today. And if you want to check it out, you can watch the full one from them, from Microsoft, from Square Enix. All of the game presentations are available at Summer Gaming Central. So now I am super psyched. So we have 8 or 9 what to watch editors. 3 of them are gamers, and they're all here today. I'm super excited. David's a gamer, Scott's a gamer. I want to know which of the titles you guys are most excited to play. I'll kick it off with my pick. Now, obviously, I'm excited for the new Zelda, obviously, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to get our hands on that for at least a year and a half. So I don't have that kind of patience. So I'm going to go with Halo Infinite. It's coming out this holiday season, and it looks amazing. This was originally supposed to be a launch title. It was going to come out with the Xbox Series X, but it wasn't looking so great. So they held off, they took their time, and now it looks awesome. Good things come to those who wait. There's a lesson in there. Cyberpunk. Excuse me. At any rate, this is what I'm most looking forward to. So let's take a look at Halo Infinite.
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base. Ordnance drop inbound. The flag is ours. Please call us at your earliest convenience.
So good. And David, I don't know if you know what you started, but going forward, I'm going to insist you guys call me Master Chief. That's just how it's going to be. All right. So David, what grabbed your attention at E3?
Well, I mean, what just grabbed my attention now is that George R.R. Martin is working on a video game instead of just finishing his books. Stop doing other things and finish that book, dude. Like, there's time for all this other, finish the book. Just finish the book. Sorry. What am I excited about? Starfield is what I'm excited about. You mentioned it a little bit at the beginning, but I'm really excited about Bethesda's 2022 RPG called Starfield. The game was first announced at E3 back in 2018, and we finally got our first look at the game over the weekend. Before I continue, let's take a quick look at that trailer.
We've come to the beginning of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure. Graviton loop array full check. Your space lane is clear.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for.
So, right, it looks pretty cool.
Stuff in space.
If you're unfamiliar with the game studio Bethesda, they're behind RPG franchises like The Elder Scrolls and Fallout. So you know this crew knows how to do big, epic, open-world games. Not much is known about the story or gameplay, but Bethesda director and executive producer has called it Skyrim in space and likened it to a Han Solo simulator where players can get in a ship and explore the galaxy. That's right up my alley. Scott and I have talked a lot about Assassin's Creed Valhalla and just that open world experience and the never-ending need to feel like you have to search for every little blue and yellow dot on the entire map and it just being maddening until you've cleared every section to the point where you just give up because you're like, I'm 200 hours into this. What have I done with my life?
I'm not a quitter, David. I do not give up.
I
will
up
find
so
every
fast.
dot.
I was like, as long as I have enough points and experience to be able to defeat the main quest and all of that, like I don't need to find every piece of like gauntlet, helmet, whatever. I don't need all that. But I'm really excited about this, and Starfield drops on Xbox and PC on November 11th, 2022. And let's hope they fix all the bugs before it drops, right, Bethesda? Come on, fix those bugs before you drop it, please. So Scott, what are you looking forward to?
Hello.
Out of E3?
Gosh, David, so many things. Honestly, like there's a lot of these games I've been following like prior to E3. So like Gotham Knights, Guardians, Far Cry 6, Five Nights at Freddy, Happy Game, Kiwi, like honestly. And then of course, Dodgeball Academia, because you can't go wrong with a dodgeball game. But unlike you guys, going off into space, I like to stick with things that are a little bit more like realistic. So I chose Back 4 Blood, which is a zombie hunting game.
Are you calling that realistic?
Absolutely. Like, look.
Because people go to space all the time, Scott.
Wait, what?
People don't fight zombies that often.
People fight zombies all the time. I don't know what kind of world you're living in, but yeah, no, Back 4 Blood, zombies. Like, exactly. The living dead. But no, so this is by the same creators as Left 4 Dead, which is a game that I used to play all of the time with my old housemates. It was just a really good co-op game that you could just jump in and work together to kill hordes of zombies. And there's all these like special ones that had like superpowers that would either like explode and then or liquor, not liquors, what's the one with the tongue? And then I can't remember. There's one with the tongue, the spitters that like did something else. And then there was the witch, which of course was like the absolute worst. So this game seems to like have a lot of those same elements. So I'm super excited about it because I've been wanting to have a game like this to play with those same friends that I used to play with, but now virtually. So let's take a look at a clip.
Some sort of invitation, never coming along. No, you get this what you get. Hang in there, Holly. Get high with your best friends. No rest for the wicked.
Let's go.
You're here. Come on.
God, I love Mondays.
Mondays, am I right? Like that's the typical Monday for me. So I don't know what you guys are getting into, but I feel like we missed an opportunity here because Landon wasn't here earlier. Now, Gordon, your pick was Halo Infinite, and I know Landon does a really sick Halo song.
I can't help but get back though. So
That's like it's like your ventriloquist act because you don't even know what you look like.
Exactly. Sports editor
That's
and
good.
Gregorian chant master. There we go.
So we've never been to space, but we have fought zombies. That's what I was just wanting to clear up.
I can only speak from
Got
my
it.
own personal experience. I don't know about you guys. I haven't been to space, you know, but
okay. Just wanted
But
to clear
he's
up a few
fought
things that I
zombies.
took from there.
But he's fought zombies.
Yeah.
Right.
exactly.
Got it.
So,
Okay, Scott.
Gordon, remind us of that voice command one more time if everyone wants to check
Oh,
out
you
the
mean-
E3 coverage.
This voice command, Summer Gaming
Oh.
Central. You got to hit a button. You do that too. You can't just do it. You can't throw the remote to yourself and look cool like I did. Summer Gaming Central.
Thank you, Master Chief.
Oh, see, I'm glad that's catching on. I need a new lower third. Master Chief, gaming editor / musical theater editor.
Get it updated. And while we do that, we'll pause for a quick update on Summer Free Preview. For the past few weeks, we've been telling you about Xfinity's Summer Free Preview, which will feature weekly free network previews all summer long. And yes, we're back again to clue you in on a couple of exciting opportunities in the week ahead, starting with the HBO Max free preview starting this Thursday, June 17th. So if you're not an HBO Max subscriber, this is your chance to binge Mare of Easttown finally and find out why everyone's talking about Kate Winslet's role as a Philadelphia suburb detective investigating the death of a young mother. If you're looking to laugh, murder-durder. And if you're looking to laugh like this, a new season of Betty just started on Friday. The comedy series centers on a group of young female skateboarders in New York City. If you're looking for something a little different, check out the documentary Revolution Rent. The film follows Andy Senior Jr. as he travels to Cuba to direct a production of the iconic Broadway musical Rent. And it will be Cuba's first American-produced musical in more than 50 years. You can't see it, but Gordon's shaking his head because he does not like Rent, but it's one of my favorites, and I'm sure we'll talk about that when we come back. You can also catch up on the new season of In Treatment, which stars Orange is the New Black favorite Uzo Aduba as a Los Angeles therapist who is helping her patients navigate modern issues such as the global pandemic. And finally, it's Succession. I talk about Succession way too often on this show and in my private life. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? This tale of a wealthy, dysfunctional family is one of the best shows on TV. There are only 2 seasons, so you can catch up really quickly. It will eventually return for a 3rd season. And you can catch up on all of these during the free preview starting on Thursday. Scott, what do you have on deck for the summer free preview?
Ooh, so we also have America's first and largest LGBTQ plus subscription video service, which is marking Pride Month with a slew of new movies and TV shows, and they're all available for free for Xfinity customers starting today until June 21st. I picked a couple titles here that I think would be great to highlight just because there's so many things to check out. We wanted to narrow it down a little bit for you. So the first one up is Slay Model Search. So 25 of the most beautiful trans models from around the world compete to be part of the world's first transgender exclusive agency. If you are familiar with the show Strut, you'll know this agency. That show in particular highlighted Isis King, Arise Wenzer, Laith Ashley, as well as the iconic Dominique Jackson of Pose fame, played Electra Abundance, of course. So definitely worth checking that one out. Also, The Gay Agenda, number 9, which is an anthology of short films, which basically takes the phrase gay agenda and reclaims it, sort of transforming it into a celebration of gay culture. This particular episode features 3 short stories, Catfish Killer, No Strings, and Black Hat. Personally, Catfish Killer was my favorite of this one. It's a campy horror short about 3 friends on a camping trip, see what I did there, who are thrust into danger when one of them inadvertently catfishes a serial killer. So, murder-durder. It's things that could actually happen in real life. So watch out. Another one is Food Fetish Pride Edition. So this is a special Pride episode of the series Food Fetish that features celebrity chef Susan Feniger and focuses on some of the best female chefs and restaurateurs in Los Angeles. So this includes hotspots like Sweetfin, Fellow, and Britannia Pub. So related but unrelated, the seared duck at Fellow is next level. It's like a literal pride parade in your mouth, so definitely check it out. So yeah, give me that free meal, Fellow. Thanks for the plug. No. Also check out Last Summer, which follows two high school sweethearts who spend their final months together over the course of a long, quiet summer in the rural South. It's a no-frills film, but it does a great job of sustaining that sort of pit in the stomach feeling and the anxiousness and uncertainty of being young and small and really like not knowing where your life is going. So that's definitely worth a look if you want something a little bit more somber. So yeah, that's some good picks from Here TV, and they're all free again until the 21st.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. Well, keep track of all the free previews this summer by saying free into your voice remote. And Gordon, do you have something to say about Rent? I want you to admit that you don't like Rent in front of everyone.
All right, if my wife is watching this, I'm in big trouble. All right, okay, so I was a theater kid who came up in the 90s. So I went to a lot of parties where a lot of people would sing a lot of Rent songs. So it kind of killed it for me a little bit. So that's how I feel about Rent. It's not my favorite. It's no Grease 2, okay? I'm going to say it's no Grease 2.
Oh, here we go again.
Which is the best. I know this is like a no judgment zone, like a Planet Fitness.
Is it?
So okay, fine, judge. I don't care.
All right. Well, we best jump out of this as quickly as possible now.
Please, please.
So let's move on to a segment.
Don't treat your Master Chief like that.
Gordon, it's okay. We'll go down to Coco's. We'll go down to Coco's and get cheesesteak and some water. We'll go down to Coco's and cheesesteaks and get some water ice down here with.
What is happening right now?
Wait,
no, this is random.
Come on.
We've been visited by Landon the Random.
That?
He's here.
What was that?
We were going to Coco's to get a cheesesteak. I'm trying to do the mayor of Easttown, like water ice.
He's trying to do the
real
Philly
bad,
accent.
Huh? Was that bad?
Lived in
From this area?
Yeah,
Aren't you from the Philly area, Landon?
Yeah.
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah.
I just wanted to prove that I watched Mayor of Easttown, and I did it horribly, and it all fell apart in my hands.
Oh my God, I'm actually sweating from listening to you do that.
Wow.
We'll never get that time back.
She's cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs over here.
There it is.
Oh, let's really move on
man.
now. Save Landon and Gordon. This is a segment we are all very excited about. It is time for Expert Extras. Our celebration of Pride Month continues with a very exciting collaboration between our LGBTQ and TV editor Scott and Shahs of Sunset star Reza Farahan. Scott, please tell us all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was fortunate enough to sit down with my new buddy Reza last Friday for a super fun exclusive that is just for our What to Watch Live viewers. We chatted a little bit about a special collection that he curated for us for Pride. So it features a bunch of episodes from some of his absolute favorite series. So that's Shahs of Sunset, Million Dollar Listing, Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Summer House, Family Karma, True Hollywood Story. So super excited to show you guys this one and hear what he has to say about why he chose those guys. So let's throw to the clip. Hi, Reza. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Hey, Scott. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month to you as well.
Thanks. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your picks for this Ultimate Pride TV playlist, which I've lovingly dubbed Reza Be Obsessed with These Episodes. So hopefully I'm not infringing on any copyrights there.
You are free to infringe away.
Perfect. Can I get that in writing?
Absolutely.
Love
for
it.
the month of Pride.
Okay, perfect. Exactly. That's all I need, you know.
There you go.
Perfect. So I'd love to chat with you a little bit about some of your picks and why you chose them. First up is the episode Shaw's, obviously, Return to Homeland. So you guys are heading to Turkey and you're sort of wrestling with your identity as a gay man. So I'm curious, sort of like, what was going through your mind at that time?
You know, Scott, it was such like this pilgrimage. I never thought I would get anywhere close to Iran. Here I am grappling with my identity, you know, half Jewish, half Muslim, 100% gay, and always not feeling like I fit in. And it took this Turkish guide who was like taking us through these back, you know, they weren't even woods, but these back villages. And I was wondering if I would be killed for being gay. And he laughed at me and said, "You'd be killed because you're American." And all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, what did you just call me? And like, it took a guide in Turkey to like give me this gift. And here I was worried about my sexuality, and he handed me this other gift that I didn't even know I needed. So for me, it was so profound. Obviously, I had to include it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done a fair amount of traveling myself, and I've been to some areas that are, not necessarily friendly towards the gays. I've spent some time in Morocco, and then also in Turkey, and I've had very similar situations. So I guess based on your experience, would you recommend queer folk travel to these places?
Honestly, I would say with hesitation, and respect for local tradition and custom, because I definitely think that, in the United States, our spectrum is a rainbow. And unfortunately, in some countries, there aren't as many colors in their box of Crayolas. They've got those little crayons, with just like the primary colors in. And here in the beautiful United States, we've got that jumbo box with the lid and the sharpener, and every color is represented. So
Amazing.
I would say proceed with caution. Absolutely.
Awesome. That's good advice, I think. So next episode is another Shaw's one, and that is this 40? So, I mean, I can probably guess why you've chosen this one. I mean, in this episode, you guys do a little getaway in Palm Springs for your birthday, and there's this very adorable moment. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
I mean, first of all, I wanted to pick anything and everything Palm Springs because I'm close to my husband. I married my husband. We have a house there. My best times with my best friend of 30 years have all been there. And so it just, for me, epitomizes everything. Like me and my gay besties, like that's where we would go to live out loud. Like the clubs and the bars there, you see like young gays mingling with leather daddies and like retired gays who have had these beautiful lives and now they get to be who they are in this place called Palm Springs, which to me is like a gay mecca.
Absolutely. It's like a wealth of like experience and knowledge in there for like, it's an amazing space for a queer person to go. So I love that you've chosen that. But also I can't not talk about one other thing from that episode.
Wait, are you talking about a slip and slide?
I am absolutely talking about a slip and slide. How horrible are those things? They suck as an adult.
Now, first of all, they suck basically for me as a kid and as an adult. But as an adult with excessive weight, and some more hair than some of my Caucasian friends, I didn't slide as much as I slipped, and it didn't feel the way I wanted it to feel. So yeah, stick to the pool and not the slip and slide.
Yeah. Well, speaking as someone who's a little bit bony, I can tell you it's not any more fun that way either. It's just like you hit that ground and it's not cute, painful. So whoever invented that, why?
Yeah. Hello.
So one other one I want to talk to you about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta episode you chose, which is Love, Marriage, and Sour Peaches, which is when you and a bunch of other Bravolebrities are going to World Pride. How was that for you?
To just put it in like a sentence, it was like riding through heaven on a unicorn. first of all, I'm a huge Bravoholic, in addition to some people calling me a Bravolebrity. I'm addicted to the shows. I'm invested in their lives. Some of them are actually my friends. And then it was World Pride. And then on top of it, something that the audience, I don't think, got to see, 2 floats behind us was an Iranian float. And so actually someone from NBC Universal took me off of the float, walked me back to them, and we were crying, embracing. There were LGBTQ plus Iranian people in the group, and I got to hear a few of their stories and then get back on the float, and then afterwards go out with Sonia, who was tipping pictures back, and I'm obsessed and I love her. And we just had the best time, and I wanted to share it with the audience.
I love that. So do you usually attend Pride parades, or have you done that historically?
I have, absolutely. My whole life, from the time I would sneak from Beverly Hills, which is right next to West Hollywood, where the Pride Parade was, when I was underage, and just stand in awe of these people who I believed were living in their truth, because I, at the time, was a closeted teenager, and I was so impressed by them and wanted to be like them, and knew that being there meant something, meant that you were proud of who you were, and it was special. So absolutely, I go whenever I can.
That's amazing. What was the first Pride that you attended?
Well, the first Pride I attended, I literally snuck to, and I was watching from the periphery at the age of 16, when I was still in high school, and I was totally in the closet. No one knew. I went by myself. But then the first one I went to when I was 21 with my friends, and I was able to drink and do the darn thing. That was a whole different experience than the first one at 16.
That's amazing. I mean, my Pride experiences are pretty similar, actually. I went to them when I was younger and in high school, and it was one of those things where I was like, maybe I'm just kind of tiptoeing, dipping my toe in the water here. And then, the next time around, it was full fantasy. So
Yeah.
Riding that big gay unicorn.
Absolutely. Off into the sunset.
Exactly. And since this is a Housewives episode, I can't not ask this question. What would your tagline be?
I mean, I'm worth my weight in gold, literally, honey.
That's amazing. That's exactly why I wore this outfit for you
mean,
today.
you look so stylish. I'm like, you're giving me balmain, and I'm here for it.
Thank you so much. Well, Reza, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about your playlist. I'm super excited about it. And for people who want to check it out, just say Pride is Everything into your voice remote and take a look.
That was amazing, Scott. Awesome.
That was great. That was awesome.
Thank you.
And
that was an absolute treat. Sorry.
Yeah, and I understand if you want to watch more of that, you filmed a full episode of Xfinity Hangouts with Reza where you talk about a whole bunch of different stuff, including his mustache, right?
Oh, absolutely. And Gordon, get ready to send that $5 Venmo to me, because I certainly phrased it. I must ask you a question. It went over like I expected it to. I immediately apologized.
They can't all be gems, Scott. All the jokes aren't winners. I do have to ask you though, did you refer to yourself as a little bit bony in that clip? Can we add that to your lower third next time?
Yes. Scott, TV and LGBTQ editor.
A little bit
bony. Exactly. It's fine.
I really
Master Chief.
I really love that Reza referenced the jumbo Crayola box with the crayons and the sharpener. Just one of those little humanizing things that you're like, Reza actually had a jumbo box of Crayola crayons. He's like a bajillionaire, but he used crayons just like the rest of us.
Exactly.
Yeah, but ours had 64. Ours had 64, and his had like infinite crayons because that's what he can afford.
I also just
sharpener never
completely forgot
worked.
about those ones with the sharpeners. Like that was like
It didn't.
never
It
worked.
never worked, Landon, because it would always get caked
No.
with crayons, and then you were
Yeah.
just done. And it had to cut through the paper. You'd have to peel the paper back.
Yep.
I wasn't allowed to use mine because my dad thought it was a waste of crayon. He was like,
Oh,
Fair
yeah,
comment.
totally. Look, if it's not pointy, just get rid of it. Start over. It's like get a whole new box. Just get
use an edge. Use the edge.
And the slip and slide.
I love that Reza.
Sorry,
Yeah, I was going there.
Go for it.
With the slip and slide, right? Just like the rest of us. Reza couldn't get on the slip and slide. I mean, who does that gracefully, though? Really? Have you guys been able?
Negative.
That hurt watching
I've
it.
always hit a rock, or some bump in the ground. It's just never fun. Like I don't like
It's
whoever
not a
invented
good look.
that. Like,
Hold on, slip and
here we
slides
go.
are fun. Let's not put slip and slides in the not fun category.
I
Correct?
just knew you were going to be the one who loves slip and slides.
Of course.
Down south.
I mean,
that's a kind of sport.
Alone.
If you're going to do a slip and
Slip and
slide,
slide's a kind of sport.
Yes.
Like a little vegetable
But
oil.
I'd watch that on ESPN.
Wait,
Okay,
what?
you throw vegetable oil. That's a whole nother thing, Landon. You're like
That's a whole different sport.
It's all about the speed. We gotta create a boom. We gotta go faster. So you throw a little vegetable oil down on it. I don't think I'm out of line here at all. I think I'm right in line if I'm actually correct.
You just live a completely different life than the rest of us do. So it doesn't surprise me at all that you are big on slip and slides.
Yeah. How did Landon end up in a body cast? Well, slip and slide, vegetable oil. Got some
Vegetable
speed.
oil.
Having
It's like
a
that scene in
blast.
Christmas Vacation.
It's true. It's true. What was I going to say about slip and slides? That, yeah, you're right, Liz. Like the rock, you had to completely make sure that the area you laid it down was completely clear, because you hit one rock, and not only are you just ripping a hole in yourself, but in the slip and slide as well, and then it's all over.
Yeah. And it looks like a good time until you actually execute and you hit hard and then you don't really go far. And now you've got an audience of people who witness that. I mean, it's just, I don't know how that's fun, Landon. I'm just not. I mean, when I was 8, maybe, but not as an adult.
Oh.
But also, like
man.
the ones that I used to play on had like little pools at the end. So like the goal was not actually to go past that, and when you did, it was not comfortable because that was the area that I did not check for rocks or other things. So like if you went past that pool, it was bad news bears for sports reference.
We're gonna have to. Oh my god.
All right, at the What to Watch Editor Summer Picnic, we'll get a slip and slide, and Landon can show us how it's done.
We'll get some cheesesteaks from Coco's, and we'll get Coco's.
Go to Acme.
Some water ice.
Some water ice. We'll go down to the Acme, and we'll get a slip and slide.
I don't know. It doesn't sound fun to me. It sounds like a terrible time.
All right.
Actually.
So you can
one.
check out Reza's playlist and more of Scott's incredible Pride collection by saying Pride is everything into your remote. Before we head out for the week, let's get up to speed on your weekly watch list with Plan Ahead. So there are a bunch of great premieres in the week ahead, and for that incredible rundown, we turn it over to our sports editor, Landon. Landon, take it away.
Well, thank you, David. And as you know, as the old saying goes, as the weather gets warmer, the TV gets better. So without further ado, I present to you a few premieres.
As we prepare for the biggest Olympics ever, Peacock's got you covered with live coverage of the U.S. Olympic trials, spanning from gymnastics to swimming and diving and track and field. Stream now through the end of June to find out which names will be cheering to the top of the podiums come late July in Tokyo. And speaking of the bird, next week is Peacock Week, so plan to swing back by to track all we've got to offer. Next, Denzel is back, and he's playing an ex-LAPD detective that's embroiled in a hunt for a serial killer. Enter Jared Leto, who was nominated for a Golden Globe in this film for Best Supporting Actor. There's morality, moodiness, and a flavor of the 90s we're apparently all yearning for. Don't let my love for Denzel Washington cloud your judgment, but this one's a winner. And I'll leave you with a quote, "It's never over." The Little Things, available on HBO, June 17th. Now look, if Kendall Jenner says she's obsessed with Dave, then I think you should be too. Lil Dicky or Dave, it doesn't matter. The man's here to make you laugh through the trials and tribulations of his wonky life, paired with a cast of celebrities that you honestly have to see to believe. Look, Bird is destined to become one of the greatest rappers of all time. But this may be his new calling, as Season 1 became FX's highest-ranked comedy series ever. Season 2 now premieres June 16th. Next, the second half of Season 1 of Generation, or as I like to call it, Generación, is right around the corner. And in my opinion, if you enjoyed Euphoria, this is right in your wheelhouse. Built in today's world, this series tackles the all-encompassing struggles with social media's prevalence, the exploration of modern sexuality, and adulthood decisions landing at the feet of multiple high schoolers. It's a stressful watch, but also today's reality. Catch up now before the second half of Season 1 kicks back off on June 17th. Moving along, it's summer, which means one thing. It's David Schwimmer season. This UK-based series, Intelligence, was brought to the US by Nick Mohammed, who, if you've seen Ted Lasso, you've probably already fallen in love with. And I just learned somehow he's 40 years old, but looks younger than me. These genes, I tell you. But this series casts the aforementioned Schwimmer as an obnoxious NSA agent acting as a liaison for the cybercrimes unit in the UK government headquarters. Even so obnoxious that he drives his own taxi to the embassy. It's like Spy Kids, but for adults. This series moves to Peacock on Again, June 17th. And finally, don't hide yourself in regret. Just love yourself and your set. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Can you believe it's been a decade since Lady Gaga released Born This Way? And if you thought the original hit was enough, hold my beer, because she and Orville Peck are adapting a country road version of this song, which will be featured on the 10th anniversary album later this week. The special edition album will house all 14 songs from the original, plus 6 tracks from different Gaga-approved artists who are representing and advocating for the LGBTQIA+ community to reimagine the songs of Born This Way.
That is an incredible lineup. I know Scott and I are both huge fans of Generation.
So you mean Generación?
Yes, Generación.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Landon. And I'm sure Landon, you must be super psyched about the return of Dave.
I am. I really can't wait. Just because he just flexes these celebrity muscles, and I like celebrities. I guess because I'm a kid who likes slip and slides, like to see celebrities. Yay! I think it's fun. I think he does an amazing job of bringing celebrities onto the cast, and I think this season's going to be super exciting. And he's just a funny dude.
Yeah. Anything else stand out to the rest of the cast here?
I will add, we talked about the U.S. Olympic trials quite a bit, but you can catch quite a few games of the Stanley Cup playoffs over on Peacock this week, too. So for all of you big hockey fans, go check it out.
Nice. I had no idea hockey was still going. If the Flyers aren't in it, I just tune out completely. Go Birds.
Go
Birds!
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. With every premiere, there must also unfortunately be a finale, and Liz has your slate of must-see finales this week. Liz, bring us home.
Yeah, happy to do so. So unfortunately, I don't have, as they have been saying it for many, many years. I should have quoted Landon on something, but I figured let's just take it to the finales and see what we got. Tonight on Freeform is the season 1 finale of Cruel Summer. Here's a drama based in the 90s of a time when a young girl is kidnapped and then another young girl just steps right into her life. This season finale is the trial that everybody's been waiting for. So let's tune in and watch tonight on Freeform. The Handmaid's Tale finales on Wednesday, June 16th on Hulu. This follows the story of June. She finds out that Fred is free. This finale is again on Wednesday, June 16th on Hulu. The Girlfriend Experience will finale on Sunday, June 20th on Starz. It's the same lifestyle within different industries. And so season 3 is the tech industry. The Girlfriend Experience lifestyle is that where in this modern world we are transactional and are paying for emotional and physical connections with people. Check out the finale on Starz on Sunday, June 20th. Reality TV I can get down with, and by down I mean like body slammed down, is WWE's Most Wanted Treasures. This is on A&E, and so the finale episode is on Ric Flair. It's 2 hours long on A&E on Sunday, June 20th. Also on Sunday is the finale of The Moody's on Fox. This is a show based on an Australian show with the same name. It stars Dennis Leary and Elizabeth Perkins, and it's fun and funny and quirky. Again, that's on Sunday, 6:20 on Fox.
Liz, I was so excited to hear you talk about WWE's Most Wanted Treasures and just hear you talk about Ric Flair, because I don't, as far as I know, you're not a wrestling fan, are you?
Not yet.
Well, actually, I'm an old school wrestling fan. I used to watch, I'm dating myself here. I am a fan of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Mount Fiji, Americana. I mean, it didn't get any better than that. Yeah, I'll fight you.
Amazing.
I will pretend
Right like
to
that.
fight
Yes. Yes. Who said it was pretend?
Choreographed.
Well, you're among friends here in terms of wrestling fans too, and Most Wanted Treasures is pretty amazing. So if you haven't checked that out, that's my personal recommendation. So, guys, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, next week, our lifestyle and TV editor, Audrey, will be back to join Scott and I for a very special show all about Peacock. And we want to know what all of you out there on Twitter, X1 and Flex, well, not Twitter because you can't vote, but X1 and Flex, we want to know what you'd like to hear more about. So use your voice remote now to vote for the genre you'd like to hear more about. Peacock movies, Peacock Pride, Peacock Originals, or Peacock Live Sports. And if you're watching us on Twitter, like, go run to your X1 or your Flex and you can vote on there. Like, or grab your remote.
Throw it in the comments.
Good call, Landon. Throw them in the comments.
Thank you, David.
Tweet, tell your friends, like, comment, subscribe. Landon, Gordon, Liz, you all have off next week, and you've got no skin in the game in terms of this poll. So I'd love to hear what you're interested in us talking about.
I'll go first. I say we keep this pride train rolling. Let's bring us more pride next week.
Liz,
and I'm not just saying that because Scott's here.
Yeah, I'm all about the movies. I want to see some Peacock Originals.
Okay.
Speaking of original, I'm voting for sports.
No way. Who could have seen that?
Yep. Never seen a sport in my life.
I hear they're fun. I hear sports are fun.
Like slip and slides.
Yeah.
No, not
just
fun.
as fun as
Not
slip and
fun,
slides.
Liz. Not fun. Too many rocks.
Hey man, those rocks that'll put you. I also realized I've complained about a lot of weird things today. I complained about the crayon sharpener, rocks on slip and slides.
That's a real one.
George R.R.
The
Martin.
crayon sharpeners.
George R.R. Martin. I've gotten really heated about really dumb stuff. Sorry.
It happens.
It's
It's okay.
Sometimes we get a bee in our bonnet.
Yeah.
Oh, all the bees in the bonnets. So Peacock Movies is leading the poll right now, followed by Peacock Originals, just narrowly edging out Peacock Pride, and all the way at the bottom, guess what it is? Peacock Live Sports. Oh wait,
That's
Peacock
what a
Live
Landon
Sports
endorsement will get you.
Oh.
It's climbing, David, isn't it? It's
Vote
climbing.
for
It is
sports.
climbing.
Vote for sports.
It is climbing now.
Oh man.
Please do.
Movies
Mince
is
your
still
words,
winning.
like-
fellow friends.
It's like
Live sports
Tinkerbell.
in
If you
second
believe in Landon, vote for sports.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're at Peacock Movies, number 1, Peacock Live Sports, and Originals around 2, and Pride now is in last place.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
That's what my endorsement will get you.
Seriously?
That's what my-
Wow, Gordon.
Oh, Pride is
harder.
rallying now. Pride is rallying back to
Yeah.
second place. If we just
Come
keep
on.
doing this, we're just going to keep bumping the loser
Yeah.
back up to
Yeah.
second place over and over again.
Let's go movies. You're right. Let's
Smash
go
those
movies.
buttons.
All right. we'll be watching this. You can keep voting through the closing credits. And that'll do it for us this week. That's the show. So I'd like to thank my fellow editors, Gordon, Scott, Liz, and Landon for joining me. Also, a very special thanks to the amazing Reza Farahan for joining us today. You can catch more of him on Shaws of Sunset Season 9, which airs on Bravo Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like to check out all the shows we talked about today, get more entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview more big celebrities, just say what to watch into your voice remote or tune in here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, for a new episode. My name is David, and thank you for watching What to Watch Live.